the bridges and how complex Market Garden was. But even though we failed to get across the Rhine, we did actually have this, now we had this like knife-like salient into the German lines, all the way up to Arnhem. And that did put pressure on the Germans, and we did eventually reinforce it and kind of spread things out. But like you said, it wouldn't be till November that we actually get on the other side, and Arnhem is liberated. So after Easy Company is up on the island, so in mid-October, they're going to get relieved, and they're going to go back to Mormelon, France, which is in France. You're welcome. That one's free. So, let me get this here. Okay, you see the little rosette there, right next to Ardennes, and there's Bastogne. And the black arrows is the German attack. Oh, thank you so much. It was actually an idea of Hitler's. His thought was that, you know, that there was such a rift between the Allies, and there was tension between the British and the Americans, but not anything to the level that Hitler assumed it was, because he thought if he could strike here, and essentially you had Monty's 12th Army Group to the north, and then Bradley and all the Americans to the south. Hitler thought, one, if he could physically split the two allies, he could sue for peace separately, that would dissolve our alliance, and that we would each, you know, negotiate peace, which absolutely we would not have. The second thing is that he wanted to push all the way through to take the port of Antwerp, retake the port of Antwerp, which you see up to the north. You see Bastogne, Liège, and Antwerp. Another one, we actually took Antwerp in September. What Monty failed to take is all the largest port in Europe, with all the waterways, the Scheldt estuary, which runs to Antwerp. The Germans controlled all of that, and we're not going to get control of the estuary until 1945. Had Monty actually cleared the Germans out of the estuary, we could have used Antwerp, we would have been able to bring in massive amounts of supplies. But we're still, you know, up to December, we still have stuff coming across the beach. The 106th Division, the Golden Lions, land on Utah Beach in early December before they get moved up to the line. So Hitler comes up with this idea, and he orders his men to start planning, and they come up with this a plan on how they're going to organize it. They start basically holding back supplies and gas, and it's amazing how well the Germans were able to cloak this massive concentration in the Ardennes. You know, because it's not like they attacked through the Ardennes before in 1914 and 1940. But at the time, that was it was a quiet sector. You know, the Germans had kind of run out. We had run out of gas too. And so that sector in December of 1944, all along, you know, Aachen down to Luxembourg, is considered quiet. So we're putting either brand new units into the line to give them some experience with patrolling and stuff like that, or units that were really torn up. The Hurtgen Forest, the battle in there in October and November is absolutely horrific. The 28th Division, Pennsylvania Guard, Bloody Bucket, the 4th Division, both of those divisions are absolutely shredded in the Hurtgen Forest. So they are both placed into the line in and around east of Bastogne, because it's a nice quiet place for them. Unfortunately, they're going to get the brunt of the German attack on the 16th of December. The soldiers that are portrayed in the miniseries retreating, those soldiers were actually from the 28th Division. These are guys who had had some of the absolute worst fighting in all of Europe in the Hurtgen Forest. So they're already torn up psychologically, physically, and so as long as they did hold out, they did want the German advance, and they conducted a fighting withdrawal to a point where they couldn't take it anymore. So it's really not a reflection. You know, those guys didn't just throw down their weapons and run. They had been through a lot just to even get there. When we realized that the Germans have actually made this penetration, at this point, all of Ike's forces were all spread out in this broad front. All those new divisions have come and they're in the line. So Ike has no reserves except the 82nd and 101st. The only reserves he has are two understrength airborne divisions, lightly equipped. And actually, the 82nd was supposed to go to Bastogne, but the 101st just got there first. So we'll go into more of this when there's not leaf blowers. We're now going to head out and go